Hello everyone, I hope you're doing well. My name is Oha Kate. I'm a composer and today I'm going to be reacting to 6 EXO songs in an EXO marathon. This was a Patreon request from my first ever Patreon who wishes to remain anonymous. Thank you to you, you know who you are. If you would also like to become a patron, we have 1 spot left in the Origin tier, which comes with 6 guaranteed reaction requests. There's also a link to my PayPal in the description if you would like to submit just a one-time request. So this person has very carefully selected 6 songs that I personally am not familiar with. The songs are Beautiful, Can't Bring Me Down, Stay, Fall, Run This, and Baby You Are. And I believe we will be listening in chronological order from the earliest song to the latest song. Now this is a part 1 marathon. There is a part 2 coming, which will be more focused on live performances of 6 different songs. This particular marathon is going to be more focused on lyric videos. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into EXO Beautiful. Very pretty. It's a very lovely, breezy song so far. Very atmospheric, very tasteful sound design. There's a really curious sounding synth there that I like it. It's very creative. It is almost a bit like a mix between a saxophone and a piano synth. Nice little creative details like that in the production. Everyone's vocal delivery so far is really nice. It has that similar vocal cadence to a Baekhyun song that I just reacted to, Underwater, where the verses are quite quickly delivered, but there's also a bit of melody. It's kind of a staple of the R&B style. Nice development in the drums. Cool. Now, the way this chorus is composed is very intentional. There's a really light bounciness, and that's achieved by having each syllable very on the beat, like you know, it's very light, it's very bouncy, very a joyful feeling. There's also what is known as a call and response in the chorus, where someone is calling and also responding. So there's the call, which is the beautiful, beautiful, and then there's the lower da na 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 na. Yeah, that's the response. Very, very cute song. Quite simple, but of course that is the charm of it. The chord progression is quite simple. It's the sort of progression that could be used to teach a basic piano player. It sounds beautiful. It's quite simple to the ears. Everyone can sort of get into it and enjoy it because of the simple melodic structure. Ooh, lovely harmonies. Awesome. Wow. I love how they've developed the song a little bit. The way they're bringing in their ad-libs now is adding a lot more variety to the rhythm. And not just the rhythm, of course, but also the melody. Adding a lot of complex structure and a lot of nice harmony. Just a very natural development to the song. A nice lift there in the chord progression, potentially leading to a key change, not necessarily, but I suspect it might happen. Okay, no key change, that's alright though. Chanyeol's voice does stand out. I've said this before, but as I'm watching the video, some parts I'm suspecting that the person shown is not really the correct person singing. Like, I think Dio is being shown a little too much. Now it is possible that he's doing all these parts that he's shown for, but I'm not sold entirely that these are the correct singers in every instance that's being shown. Like when Chanyeol was shown there, I could totally tell, yeah, that's definitely him. Like that sounded a little bit like Chen to me in that little part, but maybe the person being shown here, Dio, it's because he's doing the background vocals. I like that distorted synth coming in. That's really cool. Very charming song. Very light and breezy. I quite enjoyed it. Okay, so now we're going to check out the lyrics. Yeah, so the lyrics are similar to the song in that it does have a reasonably simple approach. You know, they're really nothing too deep. It's a simple love song. It's a simple poppy, warm love song. However, what I will say is that some of the wording is very poetic and imaginative, and that's something that you don't always get with lyrics. For example, there's a lot of nice imagery, like the color and scent seeps into my silent heart. The color of the transparent tree after the rain gradually stops. The freshness that resembles my goddess. A flower that floats in the sky. I mean, that's gorgeous. It's really lovely, poetic stuff. I like that kind of imagery. You know, the song does have a lot of just more straightforward, simple stuff. You know, obviously the chorus, you're beautiful, I can't hold you as much as I want. This is a little bit more commonplace, this kind of wording, but there are a lot of really beautiful lines in the song. There was another one that stood out to me. All your words turn into the wind, spinning around like a tickling whisper, tearing it away like a tornado. I mean, again, it's very striking. It really, you know, spurs the imagination. A beautiful lyrics. There is one line where it goes, I who had no meaning became special. It's a little self-deprecating, but I guess I can see where they're coming from with that. Cool, that was a cute song. I definitely can see how this would be an earlier one in their career. You know, their sound hadn't really matured yet. It was still very much an accessible poppy sound, but there's still the flavor of things to come. So we're going to move on to the next song now, which is Can't Bring Me Down. straight into a completely different atmosphere. We still haven't hit the chorus yet. Ooh. Okay, I'm just gonna stop it here. I like this one a lot. Again, it has that like heavier atmosphere that is really kind of my thing. I hear the dubstep influence of the time. It says this was uploaded around 7 years ago, so that would be 2016-ish, which would make sense. The verses have a little bit of a more of a moody feeling, and then the pre-chorus has a bit more of a lift. It's like a bit more of a hopeful, powerful lift, like we're going somewhere special. Kai's drop in the chorus is really cool. I really like that. Gets to showcase that lower register that he's good at. Yeah, I like the atmosphere of this song. I think it's a really fun one, and I was sad to stop it where it did because I kind of want to just keep going. Schumann is an amazing singer. That drop is so nasty. I'm really digging it. And this song seems to showcase more of Lay, who sounds great too. Again, I'm quite curious to know more about him, but his voice sounds really good in this song. I also quite liked Sihun's verse there, where the beat was made to sound a little bit more sparse, which gave room for his lead rapping part, and also the harmonies of the other guys coming in on the sides if you listen with headphones. That's an example of good mixing. For those of you who don't exactly know what mixing is taking all of the raw recordings and arranging them so that none of them interfere with each other and they're all quite clearly heard. So the fact that they put him in the center channel and the boys around the sides here means everyone has room. The focus of the part is very, you can't really mistake it, you know? And I love that. That's another example of, that was similar to Sihun's part, but it was even a little bit more pulled back. The focus was completely on Chanyeol's voice, and you had that little bit of the constant drum hit keeping time, and then a little bit of a dirty synth in the background to help build it up for Kai's part here, which is another great drop. Wow, this part is awesome. Unexpected, but very much welcome. And I like how they're giving everyone a different turn to do the chorus. I like that one a lot. That might be a new favorite, honestly. Fun, groovy pop slash R&B slash dubstep mix. It's something that I can't argue with. You know, I enjoy that. It's fun. It really puts a pep in my step. The more sort of monotone chorus in contrast with the melodic verses is something I quite enjoy, and the rap parts, of course, stood out to me in this song as well. Now let's check out the lyrics. So the lyrics for this song are quite intense. It seems to be, it could have multiple meanings. It could be a simple message of, listen, I'm confident, I'm strong, you know, you'll never break me. It could be pointed at someone who is trying to put you down all the time, always being negative. It also reads to me as somewhat political. My political knowledge is quite poor. My historical knowledge is quite poor. I'm really more of a music expert, I suppose you could say. But, you know, there's this part here, the crumbling wall. I'm getting themes of people being divided but then being brought together again. It's giving like Berlin Wall almost. There could be a North Korean thing here somewhere. Again, I'm just throwing things out there. Like it's sounding to me like there is a tyrant that needs to get their comeuppance here. Someone who is trying to have influence but needs to be brought to justice or something. And again, that could be a personal message or it could be a broader message. That is the beauty of, you know, lyrical interpretations. It's kind of like the listener makes of the meaning what they will, and it's cool. I like the imagery, I like the metaphors, the words chosen. Some of it is very powerful. The evil that's hiding under a mask of good, I'll use its ruins as a sacrifice on a big rock. Damn. Cool. I just have an imagery of like a Thor smashing some dragon on top of a boulder or something. There's no winner in this messy match. Like that again is giving me sort of war themes, you know? The world has changed tonight. You've become brainwashed. You see where I'm getting at? Like, that's why it's giving like more political. Crimes committed just because our worth is different. Like, yeah, whoever wrote this, they were talking about something. I feel like they're definitely talking about something. The music is also giving that like a sort of war drums and a call to action. Pretty neat. I wasn't expecting this, but I quite enjoyed that one. So let's move on to the next song, which is Stay.
흩어진 온기 이별 위로 나를 밀어낸 파도 부서진 우릴 담아 바다에 띄워 더 멀리 너의 빈 공간
Another drastic change in direction from the last song. Very somber. I like the subtle drum build. Okay, another gorgeous song. I like that we have three very different sounds coming through for today's marathon. This one is a little bit more somber. Not depressing, but it's certainly sad. I'm catching more of the lyrics on the first listen through here because the pacing is allowing me to take in the lyrics easier. It sounds like a lost love, a breakup, incredulity that the relationship has ended. Very melancholic. piano. You know what this song reminds me of a little bit is the Backstreet Boys song Show Me the Meaning of Being Lonely. And yeah, on the surface, those songs are quite different. The melodies are quite different, but the general atmosphere, the sad feeling it's going for, has certain similarities. And it's cool that they can make this sad song still sound so catchy and enjoyable. And I think that the production has a lot to do with that. That drum beat, it's still quite upbeat, but it helps the story move along.
난 우리 검은 수면 위로 비치는 너의 이름 그 속에 더 깊이 빠질수록 환영처럼 너는 멀어져가.
Nice. Yeah, I've been saying I want to hear more of Suho, so these lyric videos are helping me hear his parts and know when he's singing better. And that part, that little vocal verse right there was absolutely stunning. I loved it. Very delicate delivery. Sometimes that delicate delivery actually can be just as difficult to do as the more high belting parts. Very impressive stuff, gorgeous delivery.
내 흔적 위로 넌 다시 밀려와서 모든 걸 지워 나쁜 꿈이라 말해 내게 넌 비극 길고 긴
And I do think Kai's voice is also quite underrated. His tone is gorgeous. He's only gotten better with time. And even at this point, that was a really lovely verse too.
Can't believe 사랑이 멎었던 너의 말 모두 부서진
And I like that this is also a moment to allow Chen and Dio to show some restraint. I don't think Baekhyun has sung yet, but he would be another example of someone who gets to show off a lot, and this is a really nice opportunity for all the singers to show a little bit more restraint on what they can do in that smaller pocket.
위에 주워 너의 자리 속을 다시 걸어가 난 Can't believe 이렇게 멈춰서 너를 난 영원을 그린 우리는 어디 결국 끝내 내가 하지 못한 말세 난 믿을 수가 없어 믿지 않아 yeah 다 지울 수가 없어지지 않아 yeah 작은 단 한 조각도 잊지 말자라는 말을 지키란 말 지키려고
A little bit of auto-tune there for stylistic flair.
Baby how do that to me I can't believe this 우리 추억은 killing me softly 난 미끄러져 이별 위로 너와 찢어지고 내게 남아있는 두 가지 이별 위로 다 내 잘못이지 널 붙잡거나 남아 있어달란 말도 못했으니 Oh baby now how we doing 정말 남이 됐지 우리 둘이 Oh yeah 전부 사라졌지 but I can't believe 언젠간 괜찮아진단 말 내게는 이미 더 깊이 스민 결국 끝내 내가 하지 못한 말 Stay 내 곁에
Wow, that was really touching. I love that ending with Suho's voice. Very touching. You can feel the heartbreak. You can feel the aching in his heart. Very nice, very nice. Now, one thing I wasn't crazy about in this song was the use of autotune on the rap parts. And I do get that that was a stylistic choice. And I guess it was something that was more to do with the time that the song was made, where autotune was a little bit more prevalent on everything. And when I say it was a stylistic choice, I mean that artistically, the producers were going for the sound of the autotune as a sonic element, rather than necessarily something that they needed to improve their vocals. Their vocals don't need any improvement, and that is kind of part of my complaint with the use of the autotune here. Because I'm not sure it really fits with the somberness of the atmosphere and the more human emotion that this song is going for. to bring in that robotic sound. It's a little bit jarring. I guess I can respect the attempt, but that's something that I would have put my foot down on if I were in the recording studio there. There was one other thing. Oh yeah, for the final chorus, I would have liked to have heard perhaps more of a climactic finish somehow, like perhaps if they could have brought in some strings or a little bit more harmonies or more ad-libs. I would have liked that very much. And I know that goes against my comment previously where I was talking about liking the restraint. I do like restraint to an extent. But when it's time to bring in the big guns, I also like the big guns. So those are my only points of constructive criticism for this song. But overall, again, I do really like the atmosphere, and everyone's performance on it was stunning. Now let's take a look at the lyrics. I did catch some along the way, but let's see if there's anything else that I can glean. Yeah, this song again is a little bit more straightforward. The meaning is quite clear. It's a breakup song. This one reminds me again of Baekhyun's song Underwater, even though I'm sure this song probably came up before that, but it is using the imagery of like water and going under to evoke that sense of like drowning in the difficult emotion and the loss of the relationship. Like lots of epic imagery. Our memories have all crumbled down. I'm walking through your debris once again. Your name shines above black slumber. The deeper I fall into it, you get farther away like a vision. Like, this is such beautiful poetry, and I wish that more Western pop music had this kind of prose in the lyrics. Now, it could be that these lines sound a bit more casual in Korean, but it's, to me, this is very like formally worded, and I love it. But I guess I've never looked that deeply into like English K-pop lyrics, and now that I'm reading them, I'm really taken aback by the beautiful poetry of it. Yeah, cool. Again, the meaning is quite straightforward and simple, but the way that it's expressed is very creative. Okay, let's dive right into the next song, which is Fall. The imagery here, the photography, is looking quite stylish, sporty. I'm curious to see what the sound of it is.
시간도 잠시 길을 잃었던 곳을 한 몸짓에 그만 매료된 채로 걷잡을 수 없이 네가 내 안에 본전으로만 가득히 담은 시야 숨조차 쉴 수 없는 것 It's not easy baby 선하려 할수록 깊어져 그냥 이대로
This is a great song. It's very theatrical, but also at the same time, it does have that R&B feel to it. You know, the guitar sound is reminding me of, you know, that sort of early 2000s like staple harpsichord slash guitar sound, like you might hear it in Builds, Builds, Builds by Destiny's Child. Or what's another one? Like If You Had My Love by Jennifer Lopez. You know that guitar sound? It's harkening back to that a little bit, but it's also mixing it in with more modern sound design and synths. The steady beat is allowing for a very groovy flow, and it's allowing for a lot of flexibility in the vocal melodies, which really makes me excited for like the next second constantly. I can tell that they're having fun with this one. Each different vocalist is bringing a little bit of a different spice. It is sort of a natural continuation from the last song we listened to, where it has like that theatrical darkness or sort of sadness to it. Another song it's reminding me of is My All by Mariah Carey, like that more of a moody love song. There's even a sort of an operatic feeling in the chorus where they all do their full falsetto. You know, that fall. You know, it's cool. It's a very neat influence, and I just like that all of their songs have like their own character to them. You know, I'm not hearing a lot of repetitiveness in this marathon so far. Each song is quite distinct, and I really like that. Ooh. Very nice harmonies there. This is also reminding me of early Weekend. Jazz Lounge. Nice bit of melody in Chanyeol's rap there. Very pared back production. Cool. Yeah, so that song gave me a little bit more of what I was talking about that I felt like I was missing in the last one, where it ended very strongly with those beautiful ad-libs. There was that sense of a climax or finality to it. I think it was Chen, of course, that did one of his signature high notes. Lots of really beautiful melodies in the ad-libs. Just gave me everything I wanted. And that's pretty much it. I think I covered it with this one. Another great track. I think it might be my second favorite so far in this marathon. Second to Can't Bring Me Down. So yeah, really good. Really like this one. Let's check out the lyrics. Okay, this song is about falling for someone, obviously, but it's more to do with falling for someone that you know you shouldn't be falling for. The narrator is struggling against the feelings they're having for this person. So even on that level, it's open to different interpretations. Like, maybe the person they're falling for is just really persistent, or the narrator could be a creepy stalker. You know, it's that theme of like falling in love with someone that you know you really shouldn't have an eye for or be giving the time of day to. When you use the imagery of falling into a swamp, it's not very flattering for the person that you're falling in love with. Yeah, it's like they're really falling in love against their will here. Swamps are definitely not desirable things to fall into, unless you're into that kind of thing. Which this narrator definitely is not, it would seem. This line also cracked me up a little bit. It says, "The mixed up looks tie me up." Like, I'm imagining just the person they're falling in love with turning up with like a different outfit every time, shocking them with their hotness. They're getting so mixed up, they're like, wow, you know, you got so many different looks. I'm really drawn to that. That's pretty funny. You know, it's like one of those montages in romance movies where the person is in the clothing store and they're trying on different outfits. It reminded me of that. So yeah, this is a pretty deep song. It gets pretty real for people who really are in this situation. It's obviously not a good situation to be in. I would guess that the main intended meaning of the song is falling in love with someone who you know is going to betray you. Who you know is bad news, lots of red flags, but you can't resist their charisma. You know, just that the natural pull they have, and unfortunately, that is a talent that a lot of bad people have, is being very charismatic and magnetic. They rope you in. You gotta watch out for them. So yeah, keep an eye out, take care of yourselves, and be careful who you fall in love with. Now we're gonna move on to the fifth song, which is Run This. Even going by the title, I think we're getting something a little bit more upbeat and energetic, but let's see how it goes. This was 3 years ago. Let's go.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Let's go.
Called it. Very dramatic. Very harsh production. I love that hook. That's a really good hook. Dun-da-da. That's sick. I love that. Okay. This song is kind of short. Or maybe the time is just flying. So my thoughts on the song in general are that I really like the song itself. I like the vocal melodies. I like the tune. I like their vocal performances. What I'm not entirely crazy about is the production. The production sounds a little bit dated because it's very like of its time. It's saying 3 years ago. Now, I would be surprised if this song came out in 2020 because this very intense, loud sound was already a bit dated by then. But like you know the sound I'm talking about. It's very loud, clubby, harsh, sizzling. And that is good to an extent. Like, I welcome those kinds of loud, banging, like sterile sounds. When used sparingly, they can be very effective in a song. So I guess, for example, this to me, it's sort of along the same lines as Can't Bring Me Down. But Can't Bring Me Down infused a lot of warm and more subtle sounds too, paired with the harsher sounds, which gave the harsher sounds more impact. This song is all harsh sounds. It's just a little bit too much, and I'm saying that as a metal fan. I love loudness, I love intensity, but you need a bit of a balance of soft and hard for the hard sounds to have impact. When everything is harsh and hard, nothing is harsh and hard. Now, that said, I do like the song itself, and it's hard for me to explain that, but I hope that I'm making sense here. Like, the song itself is good. I'm really only talking about production and the sound design. Also, the drop in the song, the like the part we're in right now, again, that is something, it's a trend that kind of shows the song's age. It's something that was very popular at the time. That drop with the synth, you know, a lot of songs had that, like Blackpink, do 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 do. It's that kind of thing. I don't hate it, but I would say this is probably my least favorite song so far, only because of the production. However, as far as putting on something casually and like listening to it at the gym and stuff, I very much enjoy this song. It's right up my alley, and I'm always a fan of the more like dramatic atmosphere. So in that sense, this song is still serving it for me.
Okay, let's do it one more time. Let's go. Play that 노래 놓고 내 나도 대고繰리返す이미지. Play that 가라다 유라서.
Okay, this section right here is way better. There is that little bit of warmth to it coming in a little bit now, which is a little bit of a break from the harsher sounds. So I guess I jumped the gun a bit, complaining about all those harsh sounds, because this section is actually quite pretty. I quite like it. Okay. The tail end of this song, it did focus a little bit too much on the harsh production, like things like the overly prominent hi-hat, the electronic brass, very garish almost, just a little bit garish and crude. I understand that it's meant to be fun. You know what really I just realized is that this song would work way better as a live number, because this kind of sound is really made for a dance breakdown. So with choreo and stuff, this song would totally slap. But like for the last minute or so, I was really missing like their vocals. I was missing some element of melody or something to keep me engaged. But really it was just slapping me with the beat, you know? So this song is really one that is intended to be paired with choreo, I feel. So yeah, not my favorite. Certainly did have redeeming qualities, like that really pretty bridge, and the verses were really cool. I like the main hook. Just the production, again, wasn't crazy about. Let's check out the lyrics. Okay, this song is kind of like a hype song. You know, it really is intended to get you really up and going. Let's dance, let's have some fun, let's release our energy, our inhibitions, and just have a great time. It's just encouraging you to just get up and dance, go out and have fun, let loose. It's saying boundless ambition, go to the top, aiming at that far place. And that could be hyping someone up to just reach that stage of euphoria. You know, when you go out or you go out dancing, you just have like this amazing time with your friends. Or it could be encouraging you to chase that dream you have, reach that goal. Just an empowering number. There was a certain line here that I quite enjoyed. It says, shoot it with your raised finger, pow pow. It says it right there, shoot it with your raised finger, pow pow. Like, what more do you need? That's just the song's meaning encapsulated. It's like, go for it, you got this, you can see it. Let's go for it, let's have a good time. and grab the bull by the horns. Very cool, very neat. Definitely fits with the song's sound. And again, I can imagine that this song's meaning would inspire a lot of good choreo. One thing I just remembered is that I know that there is like a sort of a mystical, fantastical lore associated with EXO and their sound. And it's like each member has their own power, and there's a little bit of like a backstory to all of this. So that's something I could be missing when it comes to the meanings of these songs. Like this song could represent a very particular part in that lore, and I could be missing out on that. So again, I'm just reading these lyrics kind of face value. So I could be missing out on that context. If I am, please let me know. So now we are going to move on to our final song, which is Baby You Are. So I love this intro, this guitar riff in the intro, because it incorporates ghost notes. So if you don't know what a ghost note is, it's when you slap the string on the guitar, but I'm not sure exactly how it's done, but you slap the string and the note doesn't ring out entirely. It's really just like a quick rather than a dun. It's more like a chung. So that's where that little dun 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 dun, those are ghost notes, and then there's the dun dun, which are like full notes. Very cool. It's really rhythmic sound. It like grabs you right away. Very groovy. And you can see how that guitar riff is informing the whole song, the way the drums come in, the flow of Chen's verse. Beautifully written. Sounds great. Sounds great. It's a very natural progression in the composition. Nice. I'm really into the vibe of this song. It has that dramatic theatrical flair, that moodiness, but the production is very cool, very pleasant to the ears. There are some harsh sounds somewhere in the background, but they fit very well. They really move the song forward. The chorus is gorgeous, very beautiful melody. It sits a little bit in their lower range, which feels more intimate. Yeah, I'm really liking it. Now, I see that there's only 6 faces here. We're missing a few. Is that kind of standard, that sometimes on their albums a few are missing, or were the missing guys missing on all the songs on this particular album? I'm guessing that the other 2 or 3 kind of just sat this one out. Who knows? But as far as a lineup goes, it's pretty solid. It's pretty solid. Who are we missing here? There's no Dio. Okay, he's the first one that I noticed is missing. I'm not going to try to list everyone that's missing because I don't want to get in trouble in case I forget one. But interesting lineup for this song. Creative. I like hearing Kai sing in that higher range. I feel like we don't get to hear that often. It comes across as more of a challenge to him than it would be for a singer like Suho or Chen, because I think Kai's voice sits a little bit lower. He would like be maybe a lower tenor or a high baritone, but I think because it is a little bit more of a challenge, that his passion comes through a little more because you can tell he really means it. Like he really wants to nail it. That melody is so lovely. And another thing that just occurred to me is that I do think that Suho and Shen have very similar tones. It's a similar, very like acute, slick tone to their voice. It's very clean, very pointed. Like it has a sheen to it that the other singers don't. And I'm not saying the other singers are lacking. I'm just talking about that particular trait that Suho's voice and Shen's voice has that like sheen to it. It's hard to explain, but yeah, just definitely a little bit of a similarity in those two guys' voices for sure. Ooh, that's a cool sound. Oh, the songwriters were having fun with this one for sure. Cool. I really like that one. That was great. That was great. Another one that is closer to my own personal taste. This would probably be my third favorite out of all these. Well, before I go and start ranking them, let's look at the lyrics for this song. Okay, this song is sort of along the same lines as Beautiful, where it's really kind of a straightforward love song. You know, a typical I love you, let's get together type thing. But again, you know, there's a few lines that stood out as being quite beautifully written. This one, even your hair that is messy due to the wind is pretty to me. Like, that's so sweet. I love that. The overall atmosphere of the song suggests that it's a little bit more of a serious proposal, more of a serious try for love. There's also parts of the lyrics that suggest to me that the person they are trying to seduce is a little bit hesitant, which is funny because it's almost like the narrator of this song is the one that the narrator of Fall is talking about, if that makes sense. Like, it's like Fall and Baby You Are two different sides of the same story, which is a cute idea to think about. Probably not what they intended, because I think these two songs are separated by at least one whole album. You know, could be part of the secret lore, maybe. Maybe I'm starting a little fan theory. And if that fan theory is true, it would mean that both narrators in both songs have good intentions and they will eventually up together. Makes for a very happy ending. We all love that. Yeah, so that about concludes my analysis and assessment of all the 6 songs. If I were to rank these songs, based on my own personal taste, of course, it would be... Number 1 would be Can't Bring Me Down. Then I would put Fall. Then I would put Baby You Are. Then I would put Stay, then Beautiful, and then Run This. And I'm curious to know if you would rank them similarly. I'm curious to know if you agree or disagree with any of my statements or analysis. Be sure to share any thoughts you have and any suggestions for any other songs or albums or anything of the sort that you'd like me to check out. Again, if you would like some guaranteed reactions, be sure to join me on Patreon. Also, you can submit a special request at my PayPal link in the description. And lastly, please keep an eye out for part 2 of this marathon, which is coming very soon. That will be more focused on live performances. That's it for me. Again, my name is Ohakade. I'm a composer. And if you'd like to check out my own music, you can check out the band Valkata. We just put out a new single called Archangel. I'll also leave a link to that down in the description. That's about it from me. Thank you and have a good one.